Yuri, how big a win is that in what was a pressurised game in the race for Champions League football next season?
Yeah, all our games now, we know we have to win them to have a chance to be in the Champions League next season. But yeah, tonight was this afternoon, was a good win. Tough opponent. Fulham are a very good team, and obviously we could have finished the game earlier. But yeah, credit to the guys. Big fight and good win.
A great header from you. 2 of your 3 Premier League goals this season have come from your head. Not something you're known for. Have you been spending extra time on that?
No, not really. It's just getting in the good place at the good moment, and then just put my head. And yeah, we had practice this corner kick in training. Just yeah, it went well.
You have started every single Premier League game this season and made 52 appearances in all competitions. You've played a lot of football. What's that been like for you, and how have you been able to do it at such a consistently high level?
Well, listen, sometimes it's a bit of luck as well. Bad kick can always happen in football, but I've tried to take care of my body as much as I can, and to just play the games and enjoy my football.
How important is the clean sheet as well today, because there haven't been many in this Villa team this season?
No, they haven't. That's something we know we can improve on, and obviously to have a better goal difference for us is a key, especially towards the end now. Sometimes it can be on goal difference that you're in or out. So yeah, we need to improve on that, definitely.
You've had a taste of Champions League football here at Villa Park in front of this brilliant fan base. Why is it so important to you to have it back again next season and be competing with the biggest clubs in Europe?
Well, obviously it's the biggest European competition club-wise, so you always want to be and compete with the best. So we've had a taste, like you said, this season, and we want to do it again.
Well done today. You are today's player of the match. Congratulations. Well done. Thank you.
Another top performance from Yuri Tielemans with the winning goal today. That's 10 goal involvements for him this season, equaling his best return in the competition. He spoke about that goal difference, and now Aston Villa just behind Chelsea and Forest on goal difference level on 60 points. A lot more to come on that. The man here who assisted that goal for Yuri Tielemans, John McGinn. John, your 200th Premier League appearance today. How nice to mark it with a win, and such an important one at that.
I didn't actually know that was creeping up, so someone told me before the game. Quite nice. Didn't ever think I would make one Premier League appearance, so 200's brilliant, but it's a wee bit nervy in the end. But a massive 3 points. Keeps us on the hunt for the Champions League spots. Do
you get time to sort of take stock and think about that journey you've gone on to get to that point? You're saying you didn't even think you'd play once in the Premier League.
Yeah. Sometimes, as you get older, you start to appreciate it a bit more. But when you're in it, you're focused, you want more. You want to try and achieve as much as possible. Last week was a huge setback. Had my eyes on that trophy, but keep going. I feel good. My body feels good, so keep charging on.
200 appearances today, marked it with an assist. What a delivery, by the way.
The one before it was shocking, though. No, because we worked on it yesterday. We scored against Fulham in the first one. Watkins at the front post.
Yeah,
but Aston told us try and keep it away for the guys at the front stick, and thankfully I just managed to miss Lukic, I think. And Yuri and Marco, we'd worked on it, they wouldn't be marked, so big up to Austin McPhee for that one. But the set pieces after that were diabolical, so we can't give him too much credit.
Obviously the set piece coach wasn't around when I was playing. How important is he? And
I worked with him 9-10 years ago at St Mirren. He was the video analyst, believe it or not. So, but he's brilliant at his job. Really, he works on the boring stuff. So his character's important. He's a great guy, full of energy, enthusiasm, and he's been a great addition to us. Big loss to us at Scotland as well, because Portugal have nicked him. So, no, he's brilliant, and I think now they obviously get a lot of criticism from people that are a little bit more old school, but it's the way the game's going. Every small margin, a bit like NFL, where he plays. If it works, brilliant. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But he's got a big role to play, and one of my mates obviously is a Scotsman.
Are you like what we used to be like? When anyone says set plays, you all do that and think, oh,
we still are, aye, 100%, aye. Because it is boring. You're like, oh. But then today it pays off, because wins us the game. So it is important, and to be fair, the manager's big on it. So the manager gets involved.
Just want to go on to the goal scorer, Yuri Tielemans. I mean, every time I've watched you guys, he's one of the rhythm goes through him, the game goes through him completely on both sides of the game. How important has he been for you guys?
He is, and he's grown in the dressing room as a leader. Massive professional, does everything right. He's played 51 starts this year. He's getting better and better, and for me, clear our best player by a mile this season. He just keeps churning out performances after performances, and I think he's enjoying it. He's loving it. For us to get him on a free transfer was massive credit to the club, and I think the first year it was a bit stop-start for him, but after that he's a huge player for us and versatile. He goes and plays up in the 10 position and in the 6, so great player, and hopefully many more.
What about your own performance? Were you disappointed when you went off, given how well you were playing, or was that just show the competition in this squad now?
No, I was because I felt as if I was getting stronger in the game. But to be fair, Jacob trained amazing all week. He was probably unlucky not to start the game, so I felt good in the game. I was disappointed to come off, but the win was the most important thing, and hopefully next week I get 61 minutes.
Where do you see yourself best in the team positioning? Because obviously you play different positions, and it must be a manager's dream for that. But where would you say, listen, if I wanted to pin down one position, where do you see yourself as being your best?
I was quite enjoying the game on the right, but then I don't know why he moved me over to the left, but I quite enjoyed that as well. So I don't know, I don't really have a preference, honestly. I had a few games on the bench, so I told the manager when he came, just as long as I'm in the team, I'm happy, and I feel as if I offer something different to the other lads. Clearly, I don't have their speed or athleticism, but I offer something different, and I feel as if the manager knows that. So even today, Fulham like to press, and I'm the outball. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and today, thankfully, it worked.
Talking about the manager, we saw him absolutely lose his rag on the touchline with Emery. He was throwing punches and everything. What is that side of him like when we see him give a rollicking?
Normally, me, I did see it, but that's his passion, his determination.
More punches than you back in Ben there.
But he knows how important that win was, because if we conceded a goal at that moment, the Champions League run's done. And he's used to playing in European football. I think it's 17 years in the trot. I saw him watching Peter Crouch's podcast yesterday. But he's driven and he's passionate, determined, and Israel get reminded of that in the meeting.
Is Emery going to be avoiding him in there right now, maybe?
No, he's happy now. That'll get forgotten about until we'll watch this game before our next home game against Spurs, so he'll get reminded of that. And even last night we watched the Newcastle game, just to try and get better for ourselves. We watch every game back. That's the way he works, the way he operates, and here we are, and hopefully we can keep our eye on the results that are coming this weekend.
Talking about the way that he operates, talking about Europe and how much, is he mentioning that and drilling that home to you all the time around the training ground, the hotels, when you're travelling, etc.? Give us an insight into what he's like.
He is. After we lost to PSG, I know we played really well, but he was gutted. And that shows his mentality. He knows we could have won that game, and he was so angry and disappointed. And he said his dream for us is to be at that level and continually competing. So he's drilling it into us. He's been a manager in Europe for 17 years. He keeps reminding us, but he's so demanding to us. We can't slack off, and when we know teams are getting better, like Fulham today. Fulham have been brilliant all season, and can't switch off. So. He is mental, but absolutely brilliant, and loving working with him.
John, there's something on social media at the moment saying 100 men or one John McGinn who wins. Are you quite proud of the fact that that physicality, the way you use your body, is such a trademark of your game?
Aye, but it's not for everyone. It took me longer to get to England because of that. People looked and they weren't sure. They thought he's a little bit unusual, a little bit chunky.
Being polite to yourself, don't you?
But it made it harder, but I'm different. Like to try and use it to my advantage, and I don't know, I think I've got better as the years have went on down here, and keen to improve, and I feel as if I've got much more to give, but I think the 100 men would take me out.
Back one John McGinn, I'm sure. Well done today.
Thanks
you very much for joining us.
Well, best of luck.
Thank you.
The best. Leaving that here?
Yeah.
Thanks, John. Is there anyone better in the way he uses his body in the Premier League?
I don't know. I would say he'd be one of the ones you'd want to give it to, and he could protect it as well as anybody, because he's stocky, like he said himself. He's got a chunky lower half, but you also got to have the ability and the awareness to know
you
where.
You can only say that because he said it first.
Yeah, you give me a license, but he's also got the awareness of where to put the ball and where the opponent is. He always got his arm out, he's always got his bum is out, but also the ball's on the other side of the player, so the player can't really see the ball. Makes it impossible for an opposition player to try and get there. And by the way, when he sets his feet, he's like the immovable object, isn't he? Just can't get around him.
Is he a master of knowing the strengths he's got and using them?
Yeah, and I think he's got better, certainly with age. You know, he's understood what he's good at and what he's not good at, and he's found a way. He's a leader in the dressing room, in and around the place. I was at training ground the other day. You could tell he was the captain of the club. You know, he was running things, and similar to Charlie Adam, I remember he used to use his body by free kicks.
Great shout.
It might not have been the quickest, but obviously John was quicker than Charlie, but Charlie used to get his arse in, you know, and get knocked over and win free kicks.
Tielemans joins us now from Villa Park. Yuri, great to see you. Well done on that victory today. How much did you need that?
Good to see you too. Well, obviously we wanted that win so badly, especially in front of our fans. After last week, we know that we didn't perform well, and we have a good chance in the Premier League, hopefully, to get back into that top 5 and Champions League next season. So this was a massive win for us.
It was a hard-fought 3 points, I think it's fair to say. At this stage, is it more about results and performance?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of both. Like you said, it's hard-fought 3 points, but Fulham are a great team. You know, they keep you on your toes, and you always have to be aware of them. Any chance can be a goal with them. So I think we defended really well at times, and could have killed the game at the end there as well with some chances that we had. But yeah, we got the 3 points, so up to next week.
Hi Yuri, it's Owen Hargreaves. I'm here with Stilian and Petrov. We've just been raving about you all before the game, and then obviously put on a bit of a masterclass today. We've got some clips from the game. Just maybe watch them and tell us what you think. Obviously you got the goal, but there was some great little touches. The first one's one of my favourites, just that one little round the corner, and then obviously the perfect pass. That's brilliant.
Yeah, well, that's all practice, you know, that comes off. We always try on the training pitch, especially this week where we had a full week to train, and you just want to replicate that into the game. And yeah, I had a good game, good effort on goal as well. And then good goal with the head. We practiced that set piece in training as well, so for that to come off was amazing.
Was that, because when I looked at it, we looked at it back and I thought you actually meant that. So was that for Kamara to put Lukic off, just a fraction, and then you kind of drift in there? Because it looked like then Lukic, he wasn't marking anyone, and then you just, you know, had a free header. You still had to score it, obviously, but it looked really clever.
Yeah, no, we practiced that because we knew that the space was going to be there, obviously with some good runs to the front post and towards the zone. So good ball from John as well to put that ball right into my path was brilliant.
Yuri, Stilian, how important is to see you work on these set pieces every day, and it takes a long time. How good is to see those set pieces come live on the game and you manage to execute it?
Well, obviously the set piece coaches, they do a lot of work behind the scenes, and for them it's obviously brilliant to come off at the weekend, because we know how boring it is sometimes in the week. You have to work on that at the end of the training session when you've got maybe 10-15 minutes walking around, and then maybe some players aren't focused, and you know how it goes. You've played the game as well, so for it to come off was really good.
And the last one, is anything you can do? You've scored shots, turning, twisting, you're controlling the game. Anything you can do, because we just can't see it?
I appreciate it a lot. I mean, I always try to improve, to work on the things I'm good at, but also my weaknesses. But listen, this season I feel like I've become such a better player. I've played a lot of games, and the more I play, the better I feel. So I'm just ready to go again.
Yeah, you're having a brilliant season, Yuri. You've really kicked on since your move from Leicester. I don't want to dwell on that for too long, but good luck for the rest of the campaign.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Well
Bye.
done.
Yuri Tielemans. at Aston Villa, who, he knows perhaps he's being hypercritical of his own performance, but he knows, he's a man in form. He's enjoying his football right now.
I mean, you've played every single game.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about sometime as a midfielder, the workload, especially with the European Football Cup and League, you get exhausted. But it seems like you're going from strength to strength, and his performances has never dropped. It seems like he found the rhythm of the season, and he's using it. It seems like he's really enjoying it.
Yeah, scoring goals with his head, which is also a nice string to his bow.
He's a fabulous player. I didn't know he had that.
How many goals do you score?
I wasn't allowed in the box to head the ball. But, it's amazing that he said, even though he's an experienced player, he wants to keep getting better. He's working on his craft, strengths and weaknesses. He doesn't have many weaknesses, that's for sure. And that partnership, I was going to ask him now, that partnership with Kamara, they just look like they just understand where they're going to be at all times. Obviously, he's more the ball player and pulls the strings, but 3 goals, 7 assists, from quite a deep position. They're terrific numbers.
So where does it leave them in that race for the top 5?
In a good position, in a very good position. I mean, you can only look at your form and what you can do. At the end of the season, they'll look at it, they'll assess it, they'll see what they've done right, what they've done wrong. But at the moment, 3 games to go, they're kind of feeling good. They're in a good position, and probably at the end, they'll assess everything.
Yeah. For Fulham, you both spoke about the unpredictability this season, and I suppose getting back-to-back wins hasn't come that freely for them. Let's have a look at one chance for Ryan Sessegnon, who's been a man in form of late.
Yeah, I mean, they had a couple half chances. It was a tight game, decided on a set piece. Maatsen just gets caught. It's a good press from Iwobi. This is what they're good at. Look how quick they get bodies in the box, flood it in there. Obviously, Robinson does great, and Sessegnon's so unlucky. He's ready to hit it, and as he's about to set up to it, his arm just comes up. Just see it there. He's so unlucky. He does really well to actually hesitate, wait for it, and then it's a fantastic finish. Look, great little shift there, but you see Konza saying, look, that's hit his hand, and it did, but fine margins, Manish. They are at this level, but again, he showed he's in good form.
And they haven't really done much to threaten Villa. I mean, Villa felt comfortable. Everything is in front of them. In the second half, probably Fuller tried to use the width a little bit, the wider players, put in a few crosses, create a little bit of a problem for Villa. But Villa were quite calm, relaxed, and they controlled the game.
We spoke before the game about Ollie Watkins and the chance now, of course, to get back amongst the goals as a starter ahead of Marcus Rashford, seemingly out for the season. He had a couple of chances, didn't he, in the second half?
Yeah, and those are the chances that sometimes big games and big moments, as Owen mentioned, the little details, it separates you from a top player to a world-class player. That's what you have to do. You have to finish this. This is the one that he has to really use a better finish it. But we've seen that he can have off games and he can miss chances. But if he can manage to put this right, but we can't forget that Ollie Watkins come back from the European Championship. He never done the pre-season. He was late into the pre-season, so he's catching up, and he's been brilliant. But those are the moments that make a big difference.
Yeah, Malen came off the bench. He caused a bit of chaos, didn't he? He had a great chance towards the end.
Manish, he's a handful, honestly. He just makes stuff happen every time. He's actually really unlucky he doesn't play more.
This is a great build-up, eh?
Oh, brilliant. When they play quick like that, how's that first touch, by the way? Perfect. And he probably hits it too hard. I think the ones before from Watkins, it needs a bit of height. If anything, he gets a bit too much height on that one from Malen there. But I love Malen off the bench. He can play left, right, down the middle.
He's different.
Different, yeah. He's more direct, isn't he?
Yeah, he's more direct. I think he's got that little finesse about his game. He likes to come, he join, he can automate his game. And, I mean, this chance, we've seen him scoring those chances.
Tried to break the net, didn't he?
Yeah, and I feel sorry for Malen because he never had a consistent run of games. Yeah. You've got the quality, but you know what? Not being registered for the Champions League, not having consistent run of games, he must play with your mind sometimes. With the players, you want to play. You want 10 games.
Well, he started the Champions League final last year for Dortmund. He's not used to sitting on the bench. But you look at the squad they have now. You think about Rashford, think about Bailey, then you think about Asensio. Ramsey's really unlucky not to play more. Malen as well. So That's why they're competing for the Champions League, because they have a brilliant squad.
Yeah.
On the result, is it always extra disappointing to lose a game on a set-piece goal?
Yes, definitely. Of course, when you have a plan to the game, and we knew that we have to be resilient, aggressive, and of course with the right work rate and commitment, and of course after will have to come our quality to match them and to play the game the way you want to play and to try to win the football match. As you said, a set piece goal has always a massive impact, and unfortunately for us, in first 15 minutes of the game we conceded. We knew that as more the game went, with our plan, with our quality as well, it's going to be much more difficult for us and create a different scenario in the game. A team that like us, they wanted to win and they needed to win like us. We knew that playing home, if they are not finding really the right moments to create chances, delaying the chances for them is going to be more difficult. I think the first 10 minutes they didn't have more the ball for them, but they didn't have, and the set piece goal gave them the calm and put them in a position much more comfortable in the game. We changed it. We start to go much more high in our first pressure. We know that the quality they have in that two midfielders to connect and after to drive the ball in Rogers or McGinn. Even sometimes if you go more direct, McGinn is very strong holding the ball and all that stuff. We knew that we are going to take more risk. The game started to become more open. Second half was much better from us. I think our second half, the way we played, the chance, I think before they had the chance, probably to the second goal, we had two clear chances with Harry Wilson, one header and one 1v1 with Martinez. That if you score, the game is going to be completely different. I have to say, even with Tielemans, we are really unlucky with the injury of Harrison Reed with more 18 minutes to play. The boys, they showed a great spirit inside. They push Villa back. Villa with 11 players. I saw them delaying and wasting time every single time and trying to see if the game came for an end, because we pushed them back even with 10 men.
You picked up towards the end of the game your third yellow card, so it looks as though for the next match you may not be able to be in the dugout. Does that just go to show how important these games are? And sometimes it can get so frustrating, it's hard to control your emotions.
But I, to be honest, I did control. You know myself, I'm the first one when I can make a mistake. I'm the first one to say that I did. I did control the emotions really well. If you look for the sheet of the score sheet and the teams, just yellow cards for Fulham. Looks that just Fulham was on the pitch. When you balance a game and you try to game to go, and with the intensity of Premier League match, it's very, very difficult to understand the tackles inside, the falls. Sometimes you stop some counter-attacks, they stop some counter-attacks as well, but at the end you are going to see the game, and just yellow cards for Fulham, and was not just one or two. Even at the end of the game, another yellow card for a Fulham Football Club player. It's very difficult for us to understand, and that was the reason. I just tried to understand why every time a player from Villa was down, the referee stopped the game and stop our moments, balls in the box, stop our counter-attack sometimes. And that chance that they created before my yellow card, Calvin Bassey was on the grass, and that moment was not to stop. And that is the things that we cannot, they have to explain ourselves. It's being difficult for us to have some explanations for Rob Jones, and 44 us. It's the fifth time with us this season, and we all know what's happened. And it's not about emotions, because to be honest, we can be there in the touchline. You have the emotions. I'm emotional, a passionate manager, but to be honest, was nothing special. But okay, it was so easy, the yellow cards for Fulham this afternoon.
He felt the yellow card's too easy. Will almost certainly have a touchline ban, though, for their next fixture, which is against Everton after that. He felt, Peter, though, clearly that Fulham were really harshly treated today. How did you see it?
Yeah, I could see the frustration on the side of the pitch during the game. I think the biggest one was Calvin Bassey. I think it was a head injury. He stayed down, and they carried on and had a 1v1, I think. And it was ridiculous how he hasn't brought that back or not seen it's a head injury. I think that's when it really spilled over for him. But I don't think it was the referee was too biased today, other than that decision, really. What
do you think was missing from their performance? Because they did carve a few more openings in that second half.
Yeah, I just think cutting edge. There was no real. I didn't sense a real belief they were going to get in there and score goals. There were times when they got beyond the Aston Villa team. A couple of times late on in the game, and there weren't anyone in the box. Robinson, I remember exactly. That was a great block, to be honest, early in the game. But we said at half-time, if you keep crossing the ball, I think even in the doesn't matter who you're playing against in the Premier League, you cross the ball, you get chances. That was handball, unluckily, for Sessegnon. But that would have been a great moment for him. But obviously, he handballs it on the way down. It's a good finish, but it doesn't count.
Well, that did feel like they were getting crosses in Fulham, but I don't know if they had enough players in the box, not enough desire, maybe runs from midfield, players getting into the box. I think they did. I mean, that was an unbelievable ball. And even this one, Harry Wilson, I feel like it's the hardest option to try and dink the keeper with that one. First time. He's just got to get a good contact low and try and force it under the goalkeeper.
This was a good one as well.
Yeah. Another great chance.
It's probably fell to the wrong person, that one. You know what I mean? You want Jimenez coming onto that maybe and to head that back where it came from. But it's I think we were talking on the way down, the back end of the game. I know they were down to 10 men, but there was no real urgency to get the ball in the box. They're passing the ball, probably 10 or so passes around the back. You've got a minute left. Get the ball in the box, make the opposition have to defend.
Marco Silva is a manager who has a lot of admirers at the moment because of the job he's done there. Do you think that Fulham can keep him if they don't qualify for European football this season?
You have to wait and see. I think if they don't qualify, I think they'll be disappointed. But I think he's somebody who's definitely brought a bit of stability to the football club in the way he's gone about his work there. I think he carries himself really well. I think other managers maybe have blew the lid then and just gone crazy and said a few crazy things. But he's calm, he's measured, his communication seems really good. Whether other clubs come in for him, we'll have to wait and see. I think we have to see how the land lies at the end of the season with who wants to get rid of their managers, then see who wants to recruit one. But I really like him. I like his mannerisms. I like the way he communicates.
They've got Brighton, Bournemouth, Brentford all nipping at their heels as well. So it's a really disappointing result for them today. Who do you think is going to make it to that 8th place?
It's so difficult to call. I mean, I'm a big admirer of all three teams below them. Obviously, Fulham have had a great season as well. Brighton, Bournemouth have been unbelievable, really, and Brentford just continue to surprise all the time. So it's such a tough one to call. If I had to, Brighton.
Yeah.
If you had to say at this point which of those sides deserves it more from the season so far?
I don't know about who deserves it. I've heard they've all had their decent spells. I think Brentford had a really good spell at one point. Brighton started the season really well. I don't know. I'd probably go with Brighton as well. That I think probably will be my bet at this stage.
It's going to be a fascinating tweets on social media now. Paul saying, let's be honest, we don't really deserve Europe. We're just not good enough. Shame. And this one from Chris saying that win today is all but guaranteed we'll play in Europe of some form next season. While we all want to aim higher, that is a milestone that we should still be pleased with, reaching for the 3rd year in a row. And Bobby says Tielemans has been a very good signing for Villa, hasn't he? If you can sign a player that's available every week of a season and plays as good as him, it's a bargain at 50 million, never mind a free transfer. Yes, what a signing Youri Tielemans has been. We can get the thoughts of his manager now, Unai Emery, on a big win today. He's with Jules.
Unai, congratulations on a big win. You told us before the game that Aston Villa aren't the favourites to qualify for the Champions League, but that must feel like a huge 3 points in the right direction.
Good afternoon. We aren't favourite. We aren't. And still not favourite. Of course, winning today, we are close to be in Europe. And the first objective, ambitious of these objectives and our dream is to try to get Champions League. And winning today, we can have chances for the next matches, but still favorite another team because they are in front of us. But today it was very, very important to win, and at home feel comfortable, feel strong, to try to beat them because they were behind us. Now, of course, with this victory, it's difficult to get us, and keep going.
Youri Tielemans scored the winner for you today with a great header. He started every single Premier League game and featured in 52 matches. Has he been your Mr. Reliable this campaign?
When he arrived last year here, he was being passionate, and he was as well playing different positions. And his adaptation for the team as well was progressively getting better. And this year is the opportunity to try to do one step forward, helping us and increasing his level and his quality in the squad. And he's really doing a fantastic work not now because he's very, very professional. His commitment with the club, with every work we are doing, he's always ready to do. And the mentality he has, really, I appreciate in the highest level we can achieve.
Defensively, your team had to be on it as well today, and you managed to keep that clean sheet. How important does that feel as well? Because they haven't been easy to come by this season.
Clean sheet is always important because through it you can draw minimum. Of course, we won. And through clean sheet is try to feel comfortable, feel strong, and defensively will try to get the commitment we need individually and collectively to get. And today was fantastic because we defend well. Of course, always when you are only winning 1-0, the result can change. And we were pushing to try to score more goals. We had chances, more than them even. We didn't be clinical. We weren't clinical, scoring one goal more. And of course, at the end was not necessary. But through clean sheet, of course, we can feel strong defensively as well.
Yeah, really important win for Unai. It's really important, Rio, that they've put some early pressure, do you think, this weekend on those teams around them?
Yeah, I mean, when you win, it's always great to go first early and go earlier in the day in the early kickoff. And they've done that. And now, listen, can the other teams respond? And under pressure in these situations is different in the middle of the season when there's no real, the pressure's not the same because you can't see the end line. Now they see the finishing line, things start tightening up, players tighten up, crowds get anxious. Who can deal with it best at this stage of the season?
How will the season be viewed if they don't qualify for the Champions League? Should any sort of European football be celebrated as a success, like that tweet we just saw earlier?
Yeah, it has to be. You know, they've mixed it in the Champions League. They've proved that they can handle it this season and still sustain a European push. Not a lot of clubs can do that. You know, it's a testament to the recruitment, to the squad, to the manager. But obviously they want Champions League football. I feel like this place is geared up for it now.
But given the money, that sort of big splurge in January, the players they bought in, would it still be looked at as a success, do you think, if they don't make the Champions League? It felt like that was in mind.
Yeah, I don't think it will be looked at as a success. I think there'll be disappointment in the place from the fans all the way up to the hierarchy that are running the club. And I think those two additions during the season, Asensio and Marcus Rashford, were a sign of the times they were hoping to maintain. And if they don't get there, I think they'll see it as a disappointment in that sense.
What do you think happens with those two players? Their futures dependent on whether they make the Champions League?
That's a difficult one, yeah. I mean, you know, Asensio's had a real big impact, and obviously Rashford looks like he's enjoying his football again. The wages might be a stumbling block. I don't know. You know, Marcus is on, you know, a big wage, I imagine, and you know, do Villa want to take that plunge? And you know, it's not guaranteed. Obviously, he's got another injury now, which is disappointing for him. Just when you feel like he's getting into his stride, but that's something that has to be evaluated in the summer, I would say.